Hello, and welcome back to another... Do you remember the year 1999? Before Y2K, before social media and the MCU, before smartphones, but after Harry Met Sally? Well, I definitely remember that year, and that was because of one reason. Movie studios were going to take us to a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away. 1999 was the year of Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace. Like any worthwhile movie, you have to have a really good toy tie-in. Star Wars already had a plethora of toys, building their catalogs since the late 1970s, but there was another company that wanted to get in on the merchandising. Lucasfilm and this company were going to try and build a relationship piece by piece. And that other company was Lego. We were going to be getting our very first Lego Star Wars toys. Never before had there been two things that so clearly went together since PB&J sandwiches had been invented. So let's make like a Gungan Bongo and dive right into this. The Lego Naboo Fighter. Also released in 1999 with a Lego set number of 7141. It had a respectable 179 pieces, and if you followed the instructions properly, you could build a Naboo starfighter, a little driving vehicle, 2 battle droids, 1 R2-D2, and 1 young Anakin Skywalker. Something that immediately stood out to me was how much yellow was in this set. It was following pretty religiously the designs that they had in the movie, but Lego had never really had that much yellow, or at least the sets that my brothers had. I also really loved the droids. They were so distinctive from all the other Legos that we had ever had. One thing I will say that annoys me about the battle droids though, is that they have really small skinny legs and so they cannot really stand up by themselves. Up until the late 1990s, Lego had never done any tie-ins with movies or TV or honestly any branded content. But the president of Lego at the time was looking up at the stars knowing that there was just some movies out there that you could base these Legos off of and sell even more sets. Unfortunately, it was a little bit of an ordeal to get to that point where we actually got Star Wars Legos. Many executives at Lego actually did not want anything to do with a toy tie-in that had specifically war in its title. Lego had always had a pretty squeaky clean image of not dealing with wars or any kind of violence. So that was going against the branding of their company, they thought. Thankfully, the owner of Lego stepped in, seeing that this could sell a lot of Legos and open the doors to many other things. So we got our very first Lego Star Wars. And this new route that they were taking was certainly going to be a force to be reckoned with. The first Legos to be released in early 1999 were actually from the original trilogy, and just a few of them were the X-Wing, Snowspeeder, TIE Fighter, and Y-Wing. The second wave released to coincide with the release of Star Wars Episode 1. This was one of those first released. This is one of many Naboo starfighters that have been released over the years. One thing that I noticed in the design is that they all got a lot more sleeker over the years. This set was actually released before the introduction of curved, sloped bricks. As they introduced more and more bricks, you got more and more rounded designs. But you can tell that this looks a lot more blocky and angly than the designs in the movie, which is a lot more sleek, rounded, and aerodynamic. I got it for Christmas in 1999 and played with it a lot. And I also remember dropping it a lot. Unfortunately, as a young, rambunctious kid, who was also very clumsy, mind you, that's a dangerous combination to put a Lego up against. And so I dropped it many times, but that's the beauty of Lego, is that unlike other toys that when it breaks, it's kind of just broken and maybe you can glue it back together. Lego, you just collect the bricks and then you build it. I'm actually not sure if all of these pieces are the pieces that came with this ship originally. I'm also missing the 2 blue cylinders and the blue cone that make up the laser at the bottom. A lot of the bricks have dulled in color and they've become weathered. You can also see different smudges on just different bricks. There's little nicks, little scarring. I mean, it's been in a lot of space battles, so for it to be still fully built, except for that laser cannon at the bottom, I'd say is pretty extraordinary. As I moved off to college, most of the Legos stayed at my parents' house, and this fighter unfortunately was built and left in a kind of half repaired state because I could not find the yellow pieces that I needed to finish it. So as I was coming back visiting my folks, I tried 3 different times to rebuild it. Earlier this year, I finally found all of the pieces. And so I looked up to the stars, held this ship up triumphantly, and declared with the utmost and clearest voice that I could, "Now this is pod racing." Something I really love about Lego, they always gave you ample pieces to be able to create a little world, and as especially a kid, imagine that you're in the hangar of Naboo as Anakin's trying to escape as battle droids are trying to take him down. Overall, this Lego will make a fine addition to your collection. This wasn't the biggest or baddest Lego that you could find, but for $19.99 back in 1999, I'd say it's a pretty good purchase. Nowadays, you can expect to pay a lot more, even for used ones. Obviously, depending on the quality, there's going to be a wide price range of what you're going to pay for used, and especially up to the new ones. Like most toys from the 90s, eBay is going to be your best friend at finding the widest range of price options. Used, the Lego Naboo Fighter would mostly go from $40 to $50. Now, for new ones, you're definitely going to be paying upwards of $100. I even found one that was $750. Be sure that when you're looking up this Lego, if interested, to type in the Lego set number 7141, or else you could be looking at a newer version. I love this ship. Clearly others really love this because it's had so many variations over the years. Even in The Mandalorian, he now has a sleek, chromed, decked out version. It's a cool ship. I hope that you enjoyed today's episode, maybe learned a few things, and maybe even got inspired to at least check this out and maybe even buy it. I'd highly recommend it. If you do end up buying this, be sure to give yourself a pat on the shoulder. Thank you so much for watching another episode of Toys R Me. Don't forget to like, follow, and share. If you do, the Force will be with you. Always.